Stairway to Heaven is the most famous song by the English band Led Zeppelin. Composed by guitarist Jimmy Page and vocalist Robert Plant for the fourth studio album by the band Led Zeppelin IV. But what does it mean? After the vignette I'll tell you.
Thinking about it.
To understand the significance of the letter, we need to put the music and Led Zeppelin itself within the context in which it was written. The music was composed in 1970 to 71, and the period in which he lived in Boleskine and Page owned an occult bookstore in the Equinox booksellers and publishers, and even published some texts by Aleister Crowley, though he never was formally initiated into Ordo Templi Orientis. Knowing this, we can put the music in its proper perspective, as the degrees that the orders came from the Pink Cross, like the Golden Dawn, for example, the whole process of evolution in allegorical walks down the heavenly ladder, Stairway, and it is that music comes. This lady, contrary to what people think, is not Bast Shirley. This idea appeared in a reference Leonard tale in Australian CD. The lady Robert Plant speaks is Yesod, the universal spirit quality, imprisoned fairy tale princess, the primal will that leads us to the meditation, the self, knowledge and the beginning of Jacob's ladder, which is the Stairway to Heaven, Star Trek. Pun on the name of the song, and that was also used in other contexts to express the same ideas, for example, the name Luke Skywalker. Contrary to common sense, which says that all that glitters is not gold, this lady has within him the hope and optimism to see the good in all things, see that everything has brightness and that even the smallest spark of light divine within each one has potential for growth. And within this understanding, it will climbing the rungs of this ladder to heaven. In Kabbalah, the four worlds in the occult form what we call Jacob's ladder, described even in passages of the Bible. This ladder brings a symbolic map of consciousness of the human being, from the profane to the most divine. It must be worked within each of us to reach spiritual fulfillment. Here believers and atheists slip. They think the gods are real in the sense of exist in the physical world, and are fighting over the veracity of images that represent only ideas for an interior enhancement. Here is mentioned the verb, or the lost word able to create anything that the magician desired. The will, thelema, started the spirit is so strong that, when she gets there she knows if all possibilities are closed, she can use the word to create whatever you need. This first verse puts the lady is on the path to enlightenment and are sure of what you want, i.e., know your true will. Still treading this path, the lady need to be cautious, because every symbol has several meanings. All orders initiatory work and have always worked with symbols, gods, signs, allegories and parables. The Indians call these false paths Maya, illusion, and all spiritual paths initiates are warned about the deviations that can take them out of the way, or the devil, in Christian mythology. The tree to which he refers is, of course, the tree of life of Kabbalah, or Yggdrasil, in Norse mythology, the connection between all the roots of hell, Cliffeth, and leaves in the upper branches, runes. Brook stream is also a term used to designate the tarot card of the flow in a drawn, and the bird is Ba, or the soul in passing, also considered the symbol of Thoth, which, in turn, is the legendary creator of tarot, or Book of Thoth. According to Aleister Crowley, then the sentence is two senses, literal, which is a tree beside a river where there is a bird to, and esoteric, which deals with Thoth, god of teachings. Hermes Mercury, Exu, Loki, advising the track as he started down the symbolic tree of life. The West, in Rosicrucians, the Freemasons and several other initiatic orders, is the gate of the temple, profane or part of Makath, the material world, while the East is the light, the sunrise. She did not like what you see and your spirit wants a different path.
In my thoughts I have seen rings of smoke through the trees and the voices of those who stand looking.
The smoke rings are the symbol used to represent the ancient spirits, the ancestors within shamanism. Great teachers and invisible masters who assist those who are within the initiatory orders.
And it's whispered that soon, if we all call the tune, then the piper will lead us to reason. And a new day will dawn for those who stand long, and the forests will echo with laughter.
The piper is an allusion to the flutist, or Pan's Hymn to Pan, is a poem composed by Crowley 1929, and translated into Portuguese by Fernando Pessoa, magician, who comes to the path of Iron within the tree, which leads reason of the enlightenment and is represented precisely by arcane devil in tarot and the sign of Capricorn, symbolic horned god of forests. Forests echoing with laughter suggests that those who are watching, the initiate's masters, will be satisfied when the students and the rest of the planet arrive at the same point where they are and join them.
If there's a bustle in your hedgerow, don't be alone there. It's just a sprinkling for the May Queen.
This part has nothing to do with girls reaching puberty. The changes relate to the death of winter and arrival of spring, which is the overcoming of ordeals and walk toward the true will. Yes, there are two paths you can go by.
There are two paths you can go by, but in the long run, there's still time to change the road you're on.
A reminder that there are always two ways, and also a reference to the path of Zain, sword, which connects Tiferet started in the Great Mother Bina, represented by the arcanum of the tarot lovers. Separates the part of earthly pleasures, called sins, in Christianity, or negative equity, in alchemy, and the path of spiritual enlightenment. The choice is ours and is made every moment of our lives in everything we do, and anyone at any time can change the way, hopefully from lowest to highest. Robert Plant puts this phrase several times in music, in a reference to the arcane crazy, and the path of Aleph in Kabbalah as the feeling of a child who marvels at everything in the world for the first time. In Catholicism, come unto me the little children, Matthew 18 verses 1. At this point the music, since it is clear that the listener is being guided by the Lady of the Tree of Life towards enlightenment. The aspiring initiate is being conducted by the path, the sound of music.
Dear lady, can you
This phrase has two analogies with very similar symbols of two cultures. The first is the Yggdrasil itself, whose roots is a dragon, Kundalini, and whose top is an eagle flapping its wings resulting in a gentle breeze. The eagle represents the enlightened spirit, hence her being the symbol chosen by American Masons as a symbol of the U.S., and the wind element is the Ar, reason. In Kabbalah, on a deeper meaning, both paths Aleph, crazy/Ar, as Beth, mage/Mercury, leading to Kether, God, are represented by element Ar. Led Zeppelin talks about eagles in other songs, also full of symbolism. Someday I'll talk about them. Shadows in the occult and especially in the writings of Crowley, are defects or negative aspects of our personality that tarnish the purity of our soul. The third path to Kether is Gimel, the priestess. The path started in Yesod, moon, passing again through the great mysteries. The analogy with the gold is obvious. The alchemical process in which symbolically transform lead into gold ego of our essence. When I finally passed the abyss, arrived to Bina, which is the order, rock, as opposed to chaos, which is the role, in a brilliant play on words. In Umbanda, the Orisha Shango is represented there, lord of quarries, and certainty of the immutable laws of the universe. Is the mind focused on the road without letting yourself go for any event or adversity? Again, the message of hope, the Lady of the Lake is always there, creating opportunities for all seekers on the path of liberation. Thank you for your audience. Click, like, and buy.